What's up, guys? We're here at the Vintage Guitar Show in Southern California, Costa Mesa to be specific. And yeah, we're gonna go check it out and see if there's anything good. I'm after a vintage amp. I don't know if there's gonna be any here or not, but we're gonna go check it out and fingers crossed.
Yes, please. Oh, you're just gonna send it to me if I wait on it?
So now we're seeing if the guy will take my offer or not on this. Replace speaker for sure. Everything else looks pretty good. Apparently it's been worked on by Skip Simmons and Bill Kennard. When we played it, it had some issues, but yeah, it seems pretty good. D15?
It's not mine. I can call the guy and ask him to get a hold of him.
Okay.
Like I say, I don't know.
Yeah, I love the foot switch. It's so cool. All right, we got it.
Enjoy.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man. All right, we did it. I was not going into it expecting to buy a Gibson GA40, but I've been after one of those for a long time. And you never find them with the plastic LP symbol on the front still intact, ever. So yeah, it was kind of hiding in a corner, which is probably why it lasted this long. And yeah, just struck a deal with the guy and here we are. So there's the amp. Les Paul model, look how cool that is. So cool. Put it up front with me where it's nice and secure. There you go. Well, it was a successful trip. I'm pretty stoked. I was actually going into it shooting for a Tweed Tremolux. And there was one there. I didn't show it on camera, but I did play it. And it was $25,000, but it was Neil Young's Tremolux, so I guess it is what it is. Very cool amp. Still after one of those, but yeah, I've been, you know, passively looking for a GA40 for a really long time, and they're just very expensive nowadays. But yeah, so they just shot up in value and just kind of became too expensive to really consider. But yeah, this price was very fair, so super excited to check it out at home. All right, we're back home. It's actually been about a week since I picked the amp up. We went from sunny, beautiful weather to stormy weather, so apologies if you hear a lot of noise in the background. But we've got the amp back home, and I have fallen in love with this thing. I adore this amp. It is kind of everything I was expecting in a lot of ways. In a few ways, it's not what I was expecting, but I'll get into that more in a future video. But I got home and I took it straight to rehearsal. I did a 3-hour rehearsal with it. I was told it was recently serviced by Skip Simmons, who's kind of the premier amp tech, especially here in California. So I felt confident in it, and it did. It survived the 3-hour rehearsal. It did have some issues that popped up, which maybe we'll be able to replicate here in a moment and certainly dive into further in future videos on the channel. But it did sound great. Now, I will say this thing is very underpowered for rehearsals or playing out unless you're mic'd up. It's probably 10 to 12 watts, I would guess. Not very loud at all, and basically zero clean headroom. It's a vibe. It is what it is, and it does that one thing well and kind of nothing else. But I really appreciate it for what it is. So yeah, it looks great. This thing is, everyone that's seen it has been blown away by it. You never see anything like this. Let's flip it around real quick. You get a closer look in the back with a bit more light, since I didn't get to show it off that well actually at the guitar show. So the first thing I want to point out is I think I mentioned in the video where I was first looking at it, I thought this was a replacement speaker. This is, as far as I can tell, the original speaker, but it is missing the bell housing here. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but look how tight that tolerance is between this tube and this here. So my guess is perhaps this tube, which is not a 6v6, even though it looks like one, perhaps they make smaller variants and somebody put in this one and couldn't fit, so they took the cover off. I don't know, but it is a 1953 P12Q, so that is original to the amplifier as far as I can tell. 3 6v6s, very weird setup here. The preamp tubes are those weird metal cover tubes as well. Blanket on the name of them, and then a 5 AR4 on the bottom, which is quite a beautiful piece of glass, actually. And then, of course, you got the foot switch, the original foot switch, you know, said to be made of the same mahogany that they made the Les Pauls with. Of course, this being 53 is really the genesis of the Les Paul, but very cool regardless. Love the little bracket in there. And yeah, this thing is just awesome. So I think what we'll do to close this video, like I said, we're going to do more videos on this amp on the channel for sure. But I just want to do a quick plug-in, just to do a little sound check, and then we'll end there. So let's get that set up. So I figured what better amp to test it real quick than the Les Paul. Now this is a 54 reissue in white, 53 amplifier, so you can kind of picture these two sort of combos would have been sold together way back when, which is very cool. Now we're plugged in the microphone channel, which has quite a bit more gain than the instrument channels. There's 3 of them. They're all identical as far as I can tell. And first things first, I'll just kind of show the, see if I can get it to pop a little bit here. So definitely something going on with the EQ control there, the tone, making those popping noises. So definitely something to figure out there. The microphone channel was the one that was giving me some issues. It sounded the best to me. It's very meaty, really mid-heavy, very girthy sounding. It's not a bright amplifier by any means. The tone control is almost maxed out, actually. This one was giving me some problems, so we'll see if it still shows that or not. We got it on probably about 10 o'clock. Really, well, I'll go all the way down and just show the clean. So, so hopefully you can hear that. It's barely on. It's about as quiet as it'll get, and there's already gain. So we'll just go up from there. This is about maybe 10 o'clock or so. Hear that? So yeah, this channel, unfortunately, it sounds much better in the instrument channels to me, but it's just not healthy. Yeah, that's done. I did try swapping the preamp tubes V1 and V2 and didn't make a difference. So something going on in that channel to figure out at a later time. That's unfortunate because the microphone channel does sound a lot better to me. But we will go over to the instrument channel here, which last I checked did work. Same thing, I'll turn it up just a little bit so you can hear the clean headroom. So it does have more clean headroom, but sounds kind of anemic until you get it up to about here. It's brighter, it's got less bass, less girth, less gain, less interesting, but it does sound good. So let's turn up to halfway real quick. And we'll go up 3/4 of the way really quickly here. Lots of gain, not very loud actually. It's actually a pretty quiet amp, really good for the home. And yeah, it needs some love. So I was hoping when I bought it that it was going to be A-okay and good to go for a long time, but that's how it goes, and that's okay, because it's an excuse to put it on the workbench and make sure it's rock solid, which is exactly what I tend to do. So subscribe if you want to see the journey with this amplifier, and until next time, see you guys. Quick addendum, I forgot the Trem. So the Trem does work. It's fast, faster, and too fast. Pretty typical with these sort of things. I'll turn it down a little bit to halfway, and we're on the slowest setting. So it sounds super cool. It's pretty thumpy. Depth is basically, it's just kind of like my Gretsch dual twin, whatever the numbers are for that. It's just not super, it's got a sound. It does one thing and that's it. So anyways, okay. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.